welcome back to the channel. It is Friday, December 27th, and it's like 47 degrees, and the sun is kind of peeking out. It was sprinkling a little bit ago. Tomorrow's supposed to be almost 60. I was gonna wait and do my clutch wash tomorrow, but Oliver Phil wants to unload the plow tomorrow and do some stuff. So I need to try to do this today before we get cold weather. What I've done, you can see the orange strap down here blowing in the wind, is I put a pry bar with a piece of wood. It's going to be hard to get you up in there far enough. I'm going to try without whacking my head. There's a piece of wood in there against the cover, and I got this pry bar putting pressure on it to hopefully seal that up better. So I'm going to get out of there without whacking my head, and I think that this is plugged in and should be heating up. I had Mrs. Ohio MM do that a little bit ago, and yeah, it's warming up, so hopefully this will start a little bit better. For kind of a funny, I talked to Nick Ohio MM last night, and his mom was telling me that he saw Santa just before Christmas, and Santa said, "What do you want?" And Nick said an A4T, and Santa said, "Okay, so what else do you want?" Because I don't think Santa knew what an A4T was, but kind of funny. I hope everybody had a Merry Christmas. Hope Santa found you all, and I'm looking forward to you know, things coming up. So all right, let me go get what I need to get this going. I need purple power, I need keys, I need yeah, stuff to get this thing started. All right, hopefully the batteries are good. I'm gonna just crank her over to try to get some oil pressure building. There we go, got oil pressure. So let's see if she wants to start. Probably not. Might have to give it some go juice. Oh boy, she's close. Surprised I didn't have to give it some ether. Good deal. Oil pressure's good. I'm sure the oil's pretty thick. It's been cold. So I'm gonna let this warm up a little bit, and then we'll work on putting some cleaner in there. I got my access hole open there. I'm going to put a funnel in, and we'll dump a gallon in. We'll see what happens. Hopefully it all doesn't drain out of the bottom. hopped up in there and pushed in the clutch a couple times. Hopefully got fluid circulating around. I don't know how much it slows the leak down, but hopefully some. I'm going to dump some more in and try that again, and then I'll put some diesel through it. I don't know if you can see it, but it was foaming out of the hole. So hopefully it's some cleaning going on. Here's what I can say is you see how much that's foamed up. It didn't do that the last time, so I definitely think it's doing a lot more washing in there. So that's good. We go get a gallon of diesel and dump it in, and then hopefully that'll kind of get the watery based stuff out of there and go from there. Alright, so washed it out. Testing it up and down the driveway. It's moving. I think it's still slipping just a little. I'm in low. It won't go into high. I'm not sure why. But at least it's moving, because before it was barely moving. Also trying to maybe dry things out in there a little by running this a little. So I don't know, we'll see. Time will tell about how this ends up, I guess. If nothing else, it feels good to drive this thing a little. Alright, I just shut it down, and I did get it in high, and it's definitely slipping in fifth road gear some. So I don't know. I don't know if it could still just be wet. I don't know if it's still wet with oil. If anybody's got any ideas, love to hear them. And maybe I'll let it sit. I don't know. We'll just keep trying it through the winter, because I'm not going to... I mean, the fix is pulling the motor, and I'm not going to do that till spring anyway. So anybody's got any other great ideas, I would love to hear them, because this was my great idea, plus some other people giving me some hints. And although it's worked, I mean, I can move the tractor around, which is good, but it's still slipping some, and that's not going to work if I take this thing down the road if it's slipping. And yeah, so all right, enough about this one. Time to, tonight I gotta go load all the hydraulic lines into the dually. I gotta get the trailer with the plow on it pulled out so that I can hook up to it easy tomorrow. And I gotta get some other parts put in the dually for Phil, the injection pump for the 302 diesel, and the wheel cylinder, or the lift cylinders and the steering cylinders for the other A4T. And oh yeah, I'm gonna go in there and show you something else real quick. So I'm with the A4T inside. Yesterday I bought new brake lines. We're gonna put on new brake lines on this, because the ones that were on it had a lot of crud in them, a lot of rust. So I got the bendable brake lines, and so I came out here. I was gonna pull off the rear wheel cylinders. Came out here and I grabbed a hold of this actuator, which actuates them, and it didn't move. And so it's really stiff, both sides. Took off the springs, the outer cover here. You can see all the rust. You can see there's a lot of rust that's fallen out, rust in there. The back disc is stuck in there. And here are the springs that were in there, which are broken. The ball bearings that go in there, and this thing was pretty rusty. So it's a good thing I pulled all that apart, which I was going to do anyway, but I didn't expect it to be in this condition. And then I went around to the other side, did the same thing on the other side, and get over here. You can see there's some rust on the cover, but there's one of the discs, and it's smooth, so there's no grooves left in it. So it was either dragging or whatever. And then here's the actuator. So this is still together. Springs weren't rusted out on this, but I'm going to clean this all up, get new springs, clean up the bearings. Got to get the back disc out of that one also. And yeah, so going through these brakes, and this is so stiff. Yeah, I got to loosen all that up. Everything that should move pretty freely. Not pretty freely, it should move freely back and forth, because that's what the wheel cylinder pushes against, but it's pretty rusty. So I'm gonna have to pull all that apart, wire wheel everything down, clean it up, never seize it, grease it, whatever, and put it back together. So something else I did last night, just while I was messing around with things. Yeah, I think this is actually some of the disc falling off. Oh yeah, there it is. Came off there. When I dropped that down, that popped off, but yeah. So I'm going to meet Wendell Everett on Sunday, and I'm going to get the control box that goes back here that controls the 3-point that's missing from there. This one was cracked, if you remember. And I asked him about these brake parts, and he should have these brake parts for me. The springs, 6 springs and 4 discs. And I can start getting everything cleaned up, getting the inner discs out, and I'm gonna have to wire brush the shaft. It's a spline shaft in there that those slide on. You can see it there, but it's pretty rusty, so I'm gonna need to clean that up a bunch too. So water got in there, obviously. This thing, again, it must have sat for a while. And so yeah, just one more thing to work on. I did walk over here last night. My JB weld on the airbox looks all right. Hopefully that does what I wanted it to do. And there we go. Oh, and I did ask Wendell, I was talking to him about this oil pressure here, because the hydraulic pump's going to sit there. But oops, I just dropped something in my oil pan. Nice. But I can reroute this. I can put a 90 in. I can do different things to keep that there. So I mean, oil pressure is paramount on these motors, obviously. So, and I don't know if I showed in the video, if I ran out the top oil line that went down to there, it was cracked, and I think that's where it was leaking from. Well, some of the leak, but I still had the gaskets and all coming from welters to fix that. All right, Saturday morning, got hooked up to the trailer with the plow on it. Gonna head over to Phil's to unload the plow, and I've also got a bed full of hydraulic hoses, injection pump, the wheel cylinder, or the lift cylinders, and the steering cylinders are in there from the A4T. Also got bodywork from the 1355, which is over there, including the big cast piece that I just used the Jetstar to put on here, because he's going to kind of put the bodywork on that engineless 1355 that's over there to kind of protect it over the winter. But yeah, that's what got going this morning. The sun's out today after a rainy evening. Got everything wet last night, which I didn't really want. I need to clean up all that crap right there inside the barn door, all those buckets, which I'm gonna do when I get back. So I'll get over there and we'll get this thing off the trailer and see what else we can get done today. All right, trailer's cleaned off. Used Phil's old forklift there to lift it off no problem. He's got it on the 1750. We're gonna run it down next door, put it away. Looks pretty good behind that 1750 actually. We got all the hoses and everything put away in his barn, so he can start working on those when he can. All right, we're gonna head down there and put this away. We're gonna put it back in that back corner. We got it as far as we can get it in with the Oliver because of the muffler's gonna hit up there, so we're gonna use the farm ball with the loader to push it the rest of the way back in. Super M. That thing, he just got it running. It's been sitting for quite a long time. It's over at his neighbor's house with the International 33A trip bucket loader on it. But we got it back in there, and then we got that Oliver tube bottom that we're gonna shove the tail wheel back in here, and then everything is undercover. He's got his white 348 or 508 3 bottom over here, and we're going to shove it a little further back in there. All right, slight modification. Move the 508 over here in front of the Oliver and kind of tucked them back in there. I think that worked out pretty well. And then we moved the other Oliver back here. Oliver Phil said he might try to sell this one, 2 bottom with the cylinder on it. It's a nice little plow, actually a real nice little plow, but he's got other ones. So I'm gonna put the farm all back in here and head back down the road, I guess. Well, that's a really good sign right there. Welcome to the state of Ohio. Headed south. Did a little road trip this afternoon that I wasn't expecting this morning when I was at Oliver Phil's, but just ran up here and I'm running back, and just got my teeth rattled out of me for the last, I don't know, since I've been in that state up north. But bought a new to me trailer that I'll show you guys tomorrow, and yeah, it was a good drive up till I got into that state. And luckily the guy that I bought the trailer from is he's an Ohio transplant up there, so we could talk, you know, intelligent football talk. Anyway, I just kidding around. Anyway, show you this new trailer tomorrow. It's dark. I got an hour and 45 minutes to get home. Traffic's a little thick, so I'm going to pay attention to this, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Well, here's what I was talking about last night when I was driving back from that state up north. Is got a new to me 2020 PJ hydraulic dovetail trailer, 32 foot long, same as the other one. Just was kind of been looking for hydraulic dove just to be safer in my loading and unloading and all those things. So there it is, but it's raining, so we're gonna go inside and do some work inside. All right, so you can hear it raining out. I've continued to work on, I gotta get the inner disc. I don't know if you can see it in there. If I got a flashlight here. There's the inside disc, and that shaft is a little rusty or whatever, and that inner disc, if you pry on one side, it just wedges it in there. So I gotta figure out how to get it out, and I think that I have devised a plan in my head in order to get that disc out. And then I need to clean that out in there, and I need to wire wheel the splines on the end of that shaft, or not, wire brush them. And because I think I'm meeting Wendell Everett here in a little bit. He's coming to a family member's house who lives a little closer to me, so it saves me some time driving. He's nice enough to bring the stuff, then I'll meet up with him and hopefully get the new discs and get the new springs. And missing one of these springs, the return springs for the other side. And then I'll clean all this stuff up and we can start putting it back together. But on both sides, I got to get that inner disc out first. Okay, so I've tried about everything. I've wedged things in there. It's like if you don't get this thing perfectly on both sides at the same time, it's not coming out. Like it's loose, but it's not, I can't walk it out. I've tried everything. And the problem is the space between here and here is the width of my hand if I extend it out like that. And I'm a guy with 2 shoulders that don't like to flex a lot. So you got to reach in there, kind of go sideways, reach with one arm. Can't get both arms in there at the same time. I've tried it from the top, standing on the back. I've tried in this tire, it's just too close. These are set in just a little, and I jacked it up to see if I could rotate the tire, but it's connected to the other side. I guess I could, but I don't think that really matters. I guess the only thing I could do before I try what I was thinking about trying is get the whole back end off the ground, rotate it, and see if I can keep wedging the screwdriver in and see if I can knock it loose that way. It's the only thing I can think of, and maybe I'll try that. Got my big stand out. I got my bottle jack back there to get it up. I might try that because my next thing to do would, and I already loosened the outer nuts there to release the rim from the center, but it's not budging. I hit it with the sledgehammer a few times and I figured it wouldn't. As much rust as there is around there. So the next thing then would be to clean out the holes here, all 4 of them, and then take out the taper locks and then use the gantry to lift the whole cast center off there. And then I could actually access it and do something probably the proper way, or, you know, so I could really get in there and really go at it. And that might be coming, but I'm going to try rotating first. I'm going to get the other jack stand. I'm going to get both back wheels off the ground, see if I can rotate it around, keep wedging that screwdriver in and break these things loose. If not, then I'm going to have to go the painful route of messing with these taper locks. And then once I get those out, the cast center, you know, I'll try to separate the cast center from the rim if I go that route. And if I do that, then I have different tires for back here, so I should probably mount those while I have those off, and then put all this back together, clean everything up and put it back together. Anybody that's done that knows what I just described is a colossal pain, because nothing's going to come apart easily, especially when it's been sitting as long as this has been. And the last time that I had a cast center stuck inside a rim, I ended up using a Sawzall and cutting the rim off. Now the rim was damaged, so I didn't mind doing it. I don't want to do that on this rim. You know, I used heat and beat. I did everything, and that cast center wouldn't come out of that rim. So, but before I go that route, I'm going to try to put it up in the air and just rotate around, see if I can just keep wedging that screwdriver in there, break something loose and get that thing out. It's the best I got right now, other than this whole big rigmarole. No luck with that. I can spin it, I can wedge it, but I can't. I mean, you got to do both sides at once. You got to bring it out evenly. I can't do it. It's too far in there. This tire's too close. The other one, the wheels are set out clear to the end, so it gives you 6 more inches. 6 more inches is a ton of room to get in there and work on things. Still not a lot, but it's a lot more than this. So, guess I'm taking the whole freaking wheel assembly off, which I really am dreading, but I don't know how else to do this, and it will make working on doing the brake lines and everything a little easier. I don't know. One thing after another. I don't think these tires are loaded, but still I'll use the gantry. And like I said, maybe I'll swap out the tires at the same time. It's just, I don't know. I need to clean up tools too at some point. So I'm going to just clean threads up right now on those taper locks to start, and then I'll make a decision. Wendell should be calling any time here for me to go meet him, so that'll give me a little break, and maybe he'll throw me some ideas. That'll help. All right, I got all 4 holes cleaned on both sides, which caused me to break out in a sweat because there's a lot of rust in those threads. And it was a lot of work, but used some Angry Farmer. Been walking around making a pile of all the tools that are laying around that I'm going to put away right now. And Wendell just texted, so I'm going to run over and meet Wendell and get my brake parts, and then come back and I'll see how much more I get done today. All right, just made it back from picking up from Wendell. Got springs. The discs are going to be coming. He said he didn't have them. He thought he did, but he's having them mailed direct to me. Like I said, I got all 4 of these holes cleaned out for the taper lock, so that's something I'll mess with coming up. Taking these off, and I'll have to get the gantry over here and move the truck out of the way, and this will just, it'll be a big ordeal, but it'll make it easy to get to those brakes. And hopefully, you know, the goal on this one is to make sure the brakes are good the minute it rolls out of here. So that's coming, and I walk over here what I picked up from Wendell was control box. It's got a couple extra brackets on here that mine doesn't have, but I'm gonna have to, he said, open it up and go through it, which I'm gonna do anyway because I have gaskets for this end, and I'm gonna have to just check out and see what kind of shape this one is, but it's not cracked, and that's the main thing. Is that'll be something I do this week, is pull this apart and see what it's got, you know, as opposed to this one with the big crack down the side. So I know I can see I gotta get those back on there for the lines that come in, the top one, clean it up. And yeah, the other thing is I think these over here are thinner. They're clocked differently than they are on this one, so I'll have to figure that out. It's probably just about where these roll pins go in, but I'll have to see if those are thicker or what the deal is, because this came off like a 950 or a 1050, I think. So anyway, and then I got the springs for the brakes, and yeah, so that's where we're at right now, and we'll just see what the week has to bring. I didn't get to go over the trailer anymore before it got dark because it's the way it was when we got back. Mrs. Ohio MM's out cleaning up horse manure right now. Any day now, welter should be, the gaskets should be showing up for this to do that. So lots going on. Back to work on this, at least for the next week or so, and then I'm gone for 2 weeks. But I wanted to make some progress, and I think we're getting there. So Wednesday is New Year's Day. I really appreciate it. It's been a great year. We had some great shows, had some fun doing projects. I met a lot of you at these shows, gotten a lot of positive feedback. I truly appreciate that. It's kind of what keeps me making the videos and having fun. So looking forward to another great year coming up this year. I know for sure we're going up to that show in Michigan that's featuring MM in August, I think that is. And then, man, we turn around and come right back and head out to Rantoul. Of course, we'll have Plain City and the Miami Valley Steam Thresher shows and some other ones that we'll be at for sure. But hopefully we'll get this thing running and get it out and about for some of these shows. So I'm looking forward to 2025. I'm hoping that 2025 is another great year, and that we have continued success working on these things, and that I get to meet more of you, and that the channel grows. So appreciate you all watching. Enjoy it. Don't drink too much New Year's Eve, but if you're like me, those days are long gone. I'd rather get up, come out here. I'll probably be videoing on New Year's Day because that's a day off work, and so I might as well be out here accomplishing something. And thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe and make comments. If you got comments on if I could be doing something different on these brakes, or if you have any experience with hydraulic dovetail trailers. I think I've done a bunch of research, but always curious what people think. I was just tired of messing with the ramps and then putting heavy loads on and the ramps flip up. And it's a great trailer that I had. I had a hard time deciding to buy this one, except that I think over time it will just make things easier on me. But that other trailer's been great, and I hate to see it go, but it's got to go. All right, well, until the next video, Happy New Year's, and we'll see you at the next one.